Hey there, welcome back to Julie's Wreath Boutique. So let's make something really simple and easy to do that anybody can do it. It's a simple ribbon wreath. So let's get started and make something beautiful. All right, welcome back to Julie's Wreath Boutique. We are going to make a very simple wreath tonight. As long as you have ribbon, you're good to go. We're going to use a simple Dollar Tree wreath frame and for kind of coordinating ribbons, and we're going to make a beautiful wreath. So let's get started. Okay, so like I said, all you need is a Dollar Tree wreath form. This is a take off of my friend's wreath video, Michelle of A Noble Touch. I want you to do me a favor. If you're watching this video, after you're done watching it, I want you to click on the link in the bio for Michelle's channel, and I want you to subscribe. She is a dear friend of mine. We've been friends forever. We met in a wreath group on Facebook. Both of us made flower wreaths, and so we kind of got to know each other. We only live an hour apart, and I want you guys to go give some Julie's Wreath Boutique love to A Noble Touch here on YouTube and watch some of her videos. Now, the video she did a ladybug inspired wreath, and she makes this little ladybug that she teaches you how to make as well. So check out the links in my description box and go follow her, okay? So basically you're just gonna take some of your favorite ribbon. My most favorite ribbon comes from the Wreath Shop, Mel's Crafty Mojo, and Trendy Tree. The reason why I love that ribbon, this came from the Wreath Shop, is that the quality is so nice, okay? We are using one that was the spring ribbon that I got at Sam's Club, but again, this is kind of hit and miss, and it's like one time a year. So if you don't have any of this, I would really encourage you to go to the links in my bio and shop these small businesses and support small business, okay? So you can take 4 2.5 inch length ribbons, or in Michelle's video, she took 2 of these of the 2.5 and 2 1.5. So you can mix and match. I personally had 2.5, so we're just going to do all 4 the same size. So you're just going to kind of decide which one you want first. It really doesn't matter, simply because at the end of this, we're going to separate it all, and so it'll be a lot different. Let me put this over, but this is a tip that I do when I order ribbon. I always put this is WS, so that's for the Wreath Shop, so I know where I ordered it from. So if that's just a little tip for organization for your wreath supplies, there you go. That's your tip of the day from Julie. So you're just going to layer these all on top of each other, okay? Make sure that yellow one is not up there. All right, and then you're just going to kind of gather them together like so. And so this is the way I do it. Bar 1, bar 2, bar 3, bar 4. We're going to work on bar 2, okay? Now, Michelle just took a zip tie, and I'm going to take an 8-inch. You could take 4-inch if you want, but these are my favorite zip ties that I get from Amazon. Again, all of my tools and my zip ties are in my Amazon storefront. Link is in the description box below. And now I'm looking for my wire cutters. Here they are. Again, another thing that's in my Amazon storefront. Some of these are my must-have tools for everything I do. So we got the first one on, okay? So basically you're going to take your hand, and we're just going to stack them on top of each other. Take your 4 fingers, all right? And we're going to go down, and that's pretty much the width, all right, that we want. So I'm going to take it here, and I'm going to gather it again, and I'm going to stay on bar 2 and just zip tie it. Now, could you use Chanel stems? Absolutely. Could you use wire? Sure. But this is just a little bit easier for my fingers, so we're going to do that, okay? So again, just keep stacking everything. Let's kind of make this, do this here, all right? And that's all there is. So we're going to just keep doing this. Put your 4 fingers here, okay? Make sure they're stacked. This is such a simple wreath to make. All right, so I'm going to this is my point here to gather, and just keep it on that second bar. That's all you're going to do. So let's see how many we're going to put in one section, because this has 6 sections. So let's see here. I know Michelle did. I want to say she did like 5, but she used a 12-inch wreath frame. And I'm not sure that I'm going to get 5 in, just simply because each roll has at least 10 yards and the daisy ribbon doesn't have 10 yards. So we need to make sure this goes all the way. So anyways, so I'm thinking if we can get 4 per section, I think that would be really good. So yeah, I'm thinking if we can get 4, we'll do good here. I don't know. No, I don't think I'm going to do 5. I'm going to keep it with 4 because I don't know that I'm going to have enough of the one ribbon. So just keep it at 4. And if you have the 10 yards, then I think you'll be just fine. But like I said, I don't have a full 10 yards for one of these. So let's keep it going. So just keep watching and I'll be right back for the next step. But guess what? We had enough. Just barely, but we had enough. So I'm going to, that was the roll that didn't have quite 10 yards. The other ones did. So as you can see, we're at the end. And so I'm going to make one more loop to meet on the one that we started here. So just going to layer it. It likes to get twisted around, but that's okay. Just make your little measurement with your hand. And then you're just going to put it right there. Going to tie it off. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these ribbons. I'm not going to cut them right there. I'm going to cut them a little bit longer. If you wanted, you could have some tails at the end, but we're not going to do that. So I'm just going to cut them about here so that way we can tuck them in. All right. So that way I'm just going to be able to tuck that in under here, and I can flip this over and we can even take another zip tie and just attach it this way. All right, so here's the fun part. The fun part is separating all of this. All right, so what's the next part? We're just going to take our ribbons and you're going to separate them. And as you go through this wreath, you're going to kind of change like the direction. So like I have each of those ribbons here. So I'm going to just like have them go different directions so that we have different ribbons showing, if that makes sense. And then you're just going to work on fluffing it all out. It's really that simple. And if you wanted to give this a little bit more volume, you could, instead of doing 4 fingers, you could do a little bit more. So it's really kind of up to you which way you want this to work out, but I think it's going to be super cute and super easy. It's a great way to use ribbon if you have a bunch of ribbon laying around, because I know some of you guys are ribbon people and you've got lots of ribbon laying around. So get that ribbon out and make a beautiful wreath. Okay, so this is how it turns out, but there's one problem. For me, and I know Michelle used a smaller wreath frame, so let me show you what she used. So if you looked at this frame, she used a 12-inch wreath frame, and these are much smaller together versus my Dollar Tree frame, which comes out a little bit more. So what I would recommend is maybe if you do the Dollar Tree frame, this is what we're going to do. We're going to cut the excess of the frame off, or you can simply get one of the smaller frames like at Hobby Lobby or any of the stores that I use online will have these as well. So what I'm going to do is, because this is showing through a little bit and I don't want to add more ribbon, there's no need to do that. I'm going to just take my heavy duty wire cutters, and this will literally be just fine. These cutters will cut through this frame and it's just going to make a little bit smaller frame for you so it doesn't show through. Now, another thing that you can do if you're worried about these edges, you can heat up your glue gun. My glue gun's not on right now, and you can put a dollop of glue on the parts where we snipped off, and it will just kind of have a nice protectant. Or you could cut a piece of felt, and you've seen me do it so many times before on other wreaths, and you could just put it on the back. So it comes off, no problem. We haven't damaged any of the wreath. See, it's just fine. So we solve our problem. So if you do use a Dollar Tree frame, you're gonna wanna cut this down, okay? So that when you look at it, now you can't see any of the frame. So you're gonna just fluff it up, and if you wanna leave it like this, if you wanna add flowers, if you wanna do anything like that, you could just leave it. It's really simple and really easy. The only thing that I thought might look good are these little bumblebees that I had, but you know what? I just wanna put a bow on this and call it a day. So let's get our zip tie bow out, and we're gonna put this on this wreath, and we're gonna call it a beautiful wreath and ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make the zip tie bow. If you haven't watched how to do this, it's really simple. This is just kind of a simple bow that I came up with, and I just call it my zip tie bow. So you're going to need some zip ties. So I've got those here. You're going to pick 3 ribbons, okay? I'm going to choose the white one as our base ribbon. So what we're going to do is we are going to count to 10 inches. This is why I love my rotary mat. It is so helpful. So I have a 10-inch tail. And then we're going to go from here to here, which is another 10 inches. So I'm going to gather it up, come to the middle, and then I'm going to twist, okay? And then I'm going to measure another 10 inches, grab it, and come to the middle, and then I'm going to twist it so the right side of the ribbon shows, okay? We're going to do it again, another 10 inches. I'm going to gather and come to the middle, and I'm going to twist. And I'm going to do another 10 inches. We keep these measurements the same and come to the end, okay? And now I'm going to do, let's see, we got enough. We're going to do one more loop on the same. So another 10 inches here. All right, and twist so that right side ribbon is showing, and another 10 inches. Okay, so what do we need? We need a tail. So let's measure another 10 inches, okay? So I'm going to cut that. I'm going to take my zip tie, and I'm going to go over the top, and I'm going to run it through like so. But before I do that, okay, I'm going to keep my fingers there. I'm going to grab a wire, and I'm going to go underneath here, okay? And now I'm going to zip tie it all to that ribbon. So now I've got the wire that's going to go on our wreath. And if you want it to be done at that, there you go. You've got a bow. But we're going to make it nicer. All right, so I'm going to put this to the side. Now I'm going to use, you know what? I'm going to use, there's just not enough of that. We're going to use the yellow. All right, so again, about 10 inches for the tail. This is give or take. It's not going to be a full 10 inches for the tail. So just, you know, you're kind of guesstimating here. So instead of 10 inches, now I'm going to go 8 inches. All right, so we're going to go 8, and we're going to meet in the middle, and we're going to twist. Another 8, meet in the middle, and we're gonna twist, all right? Make sure that pretty side is facing up. Another 8, meet in the middle, and I'm gonna twist. And one more 8. And so this loops will have 4 loops. So the first one had 6. All right, and now we need another tail, about 10 inches long. Just gonna cut that, so I'm gonna grab this. I'm going to grab my white, and I'm going to put it over top, all right? And I'm going to grab another zip tie. And I'm just going to zip tie that to the white. Don't worry about the tails. We'll figure that out at the end here, okay? All right, so you could be done at that, but we're not. We're going to add a little extra, okay? We're going to use the rest of this beautiful ribbon. I'm going to do about 10 inches for the tail, all right? This one's really stiff. So instead of 8 inches, we're going to do between 6 and 7 inches. I'm going to kind of give it about 6.5 is what I'm thinking here, all right? Because I want you to see those little daisies. And then I'm going to twist. And I'm gonna do it again. And we're only gonna do 2. Actually, no, we're just gonna do 1 and 1. That's all. I forgot. We already put 2 on the last one. So you're gonna take this one. You're gonna bring your bow back here. And I'm gonna take another zip tie. I know you're like, that's a lot of zip ties, but it works, guys. It'll work. And I'm just going to zip tie it here. And you can cut off some of these zip ties. After you put that final one, you could cut those off, but I'm not going to. All right. So now we're going to, instead, we're not going to fluff it up yet, okay? So what I want to do is I want to put something right in the middle. This is what you could do. You could use pipe cleaners, you could use twine, you can use other ribbon, all sorts of things. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of, actually, you know what? I'm going to take a little bit of this white. I think that'll really pop. So I'm going to just cut a piece of this. I'm going to cut off, I've cut way too much. I shouldn't have cut that much. But I'm going to cut off the wire part so that it's not so bulky. All right, so we're going to see if we can do this without the glue gun. So we're going to just take it and I'm just going to fold it in like so. And then I'm going to just take it and I'm going to go over that bow like there, okay? And that's when I'm going to use these wires here. All right, I'm going to use these wires. Let me show you. And we're going to cross that and then we're going to just wrap that a couple of times. All right, and then if you go like this, you kind of bring those that way, and you can still use that glue gun if you need to put a little bit of glue, but I don't think I need it. I think it's going to be just fine. And I love my scissors, Amazon, in my description box, okay? So let's look at it from the top. And so now let's start fluffing our bow. And you're just going to bring all your ribbons down, all your little tails, and you're just going to fluff it. All right, I'm not going to trim these yet because we're going to put this on our wreath. So get our wreath out. So find whichever place you want. I'm going to look and see. I'm going to just put it where we started it so it'll hide anything. But I'm just going to take my ribbon or my wire here, and I'm just going to go through one side and the other side here. So as you can see, do you see that? And then I'm just going to wire that and bring it down pretty good and just twist it in the back, as you can see. And then I'll just kind of wrap it around a couple times of the frame just to make sure we get it all taken care of. You can cut your wires and then just wrap it around really good so that it's not going to scratch your door. Again, you could add a little bit of glue there. All right, so that's good. And then you're just going to play with the bow. I think, let's see, where's the other tail? There it is. Let's make some pretty dovetails. We're going to cut it like so. Go. And I think that's really pretty. So you're just going to play with your bow here, get all the extras out there. You're going to fluff all your ribbons up. And I think that's so pretty. So remember, I want you to do me a favor. If you want another great YouTube channel to watch, go to my friend Michelle of A Noble Touch. Go to her channel and subscribe. Tell her I sent you. And give her some love, guys. Encourage her and thank her for sharing her idea with us. It's great. It's beautiful. I love it. She did a ladybug version and makes this little ladybug out of styrofoam. So you're going to want to watch that. Links to her channel, links to her videos will be below. So thanks for Michelle for letting me do this. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you watched this far, because we have a daisy flower, leave me a flower in the comments, and it just encourages me to know that you watched the whole thing, and I love the support you guys give me. So until next time, we'll see you in Julie's Wreath Boutique. Bye-bye.